Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with the West Garfield Park Youth Council and the West Garfield Park and West Side Community Stakeholders. Of course, you know I am your guest tonight, your guest host, and our guest, of course, none other than the Honorable Clerk of the Circuit Court, Dorothy Brown, which we're going to personally introduce her in a minute. But, you know, the young folks, of course, had an opportunity and shared an opportunity with us to talk about some information. They came to us and talked to us about some information about bringing the clerk on and what we can do. And so what we was hoping that we can do is to also empower you all on some different things that's coming up in the future, as well as what we can do to empower the least of them. And as I shared to you before, you know, sometimes you just don't know where your blessing is coming from. So we're going to be talking with the clerk this evening about the Second Chance Expungement Summit that's coming up down the road. We got stuff talking about the filings. We got all kind of app stuff going green. Listen, we got so much going on today. I think we're ready. We're fired up. And I'm so personally excited about sitting here with my clerk and talking to my clerk about the things that's going on in the county courts, and also about what she's been doing to rally the people together for community organizing, for social change, and environmental stuff. You know, I mean, it's just a pleasure to see you, clerk, as always. And as I told the young people out there, and I'm saying it to you, and you know I know you, because I see you all the time we're in some of the circles, you are the hardest working clerk that I ever met in my days. I mean, I mean, literally. I mean, I'm not just saying it to say it. You work hard, all right? And so I'm telling you folks out there, your money is well vested in this clerk of the circuit court. And if you don't know it, you need to follow up and read up on her and go out there in the community and see what's going on. So with that being said, clerk, again, we want to thank you and all of the things that you have to do. You gave us an opportunity to get you on the show this evening because we've been trying, but you've been so busy. And we thank you for being persistent and allowing us.
Thank you for being persistent.
Well, you know we're not going to stop. Especially when you said that there's a chance that we can get you. So we're going to keep on working in that endeavor to try to get you on the show because there's so much that you can talk to us about and so much that you are doing. And you're out here in so many endeavors empowering so many people. But Clerk, if you don't mind, I'd like to just take a moment and kind of thank all of the young people, the youth council members out there for the work that they're doing to make this show possible and for giving me an opportunity to interview you tonight. So to the West Garfield Park Youth Council, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you and the community appreciate you. And so what we'd like to do, Clerk, tonight, we'd like to first kind of ask you a personal question. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be real personal, but we want to ask you a personal question. Then we want to ask you a little bit about the office of the clerk. And I want you to know we're praying for you. We're praying for everything that you're doing, and we're praying for God to have speedy recoveries in all of our ups and downs and our healing and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely.
So we're really praying for that. So clerk, tell us, who are you? Now we know you are the clerk. We know you're the clerk, but who is, if I can use the term, who is Dorothy Brown?
Well, I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a child of God. I am a daughter from a poor and uneducated set of parents who just taught me to work hard, respect others, respect myself, and to serve, and to operate in a spirit of excellence.
And you do.
That's how they taught me.
And you do.
And to serve the community in every way that I possibly can, and to have my word mean something. Your word is your bond, my parents always taught me. So that's how I operate on a day-to-day basis. I'm just a person that comes from very humble beginnings. My mother and father, neither of them had an education, and they were poor. But thank God we were able, all glory really goes to God for me being able to be where I am today.
Right. Now, you know, I recall a statement that I read that you say in all of that you're doing,
I do.
You want to make sure anything you do,
you
do it and make sure that your parents are proud of what you do. I thought that was really profound.
They're both deceased now, but I want them to Be proud of
And you still say that.
Yes,
and you still
absolutely.
subscribe to that.
Absolutely.
And I read it, and I believe in that, and I like that. And so I'm telling you, young people, I'm telling you those who are watching, whatever you do in life, whether you think people are watching you or not, act like you're doing it, or give the impression, or put it in your mind that you're doing it to make your parents proud of you.
Yes.
Not doing it just to do it. So thank you so much for that, Clerk. And so if you don't mind, I have some questions I'd like to ask you.
Okay.
But let me ask you
Good.
this before I do that. You know, you've been doing the Second Chance Expungement Summits and Ex-Offenders Job Information Seminar for so many years. I remember when you first started it.
Yes.
And how do you feel about it? Because obviously the folks are interested,
Still in
because they're
need.
still coming. And yeah, they're definitely in need.
Still in
And
need.
thank you for making this fashionable. Because back in the day when you started it, it really wasn't that fashionable.
No, it wasn't.
But you stayed the course.
Stayed the course.
I remember when you had 2,000 and 3,000 people coming
Yes,
out, you know?
yes. You know, and just realizing that, helping people to realize that you can't throw people away.
Right.
And when people have served their time, or they were found innocent, they shouldn't be punished over and over again. If you give people an opportunity to just a fair, level playing field to
Right.
be able to apply for a job and to get a job and take care of their own families, we can help to curb some of this violence
Right.
in the city of Chicago and around the country. So I have had this Second Chance Expungement Summit, and we're having it again on June 10th. It's going to be at Unity Junior High School, 2115 South 54th Avenue, Cicero, Illinois. Saturday, June 10th. That's for juvenile offenses as well as adult offenses. So you need to come. Get your rap sheet if you can. Get your certified disposition if you can. And we'll even have someone there that's going to be taking drug tests. If it's a drug offense, you have to apply. When you file your petition, you have to have a drug test. So
Right.
that's Saturday, June 10th.
So now, if folks wanted just some additional information, first of all, you can call Fathers Who Care, and we'll make sure we keep you in the loop on this information. But can they also call?
Yes.
This
They
number
can call
here?
the clerk's office,
Right.
312-603-5200. 312-603-5200 for any information.
So now we're talking to you, folks who are out there, men and or women, who would like a second chance, who would like to have their records expunged and or get information about ceilings and all that other good stuff. Would that all be available here?
And it will be there, and there's new laws out there. You don't have to have everything on your record expungible to get something expunged. You can expunge one thing at a time now.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you
So
can.
you can pick stuff out.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So they'll get all of that
Subject to
information here.
They'll get all that. Well, we're going to have attorneys there actually preparing the petition.
Okay.
We're going to have judges there ruling you indigent if you can't afford to pay,
For a
so you
waiver.
can pay, so you can file for free.
Okay, so they have a possibility
All
of
that's
a
going
waiver.
to be on the one side.
Now, you did that before.
One
I
umbrella.
mean, you've been
Yes.
doing that all the time, that when folks come out and someone may be indigent, don't have money, and they might be able to pay the wages or pay the fees for the filing. Sometimes they may qualify to have stuff waived, right?
That's right.
But it's not necessarily everybody gonna get stuff waived. They have to qualify.
They have to qualify. That's
Right.
why the judges are there, and you have
Right.
to talk to the judges and give them evidence as to why you should be able to file for free because you are unemployed or whatever the situation, or underemployed for that matter.
Okay, Clerk, you know, folks are calling in on the phone.
Okay.
And we want to entertain a couple
Can
calls,
take a
but in
call.
the meantime, I want to come back and I want to specifically know, what does the clerk office do? What is the duties of the office of the clerk of the circuit court?
Well, I am the official keeper of records for all judicial matters brought into the Cook County court system.
Okay.
So regardless of what kind of case it is, then my office is responsible for, once you file it, creating the case file. If it's a criminal case, when the state's attorney files the case against a person, we create the case file, we create an electronic file, we create a paper file. And we have to maintain every document that gets filed related to that case so that the judge, and get it to the courtroom so that the judge can rule. We also collect fees and fines. If you get fined, we collect that. Traffic ticket fine, we collect that. You want to bail yourself out, you come to me. We also
Come to
maintain
me.
evidence.
Okay, I like that. No, but go ahead.
Yeah, we also maintain evidence, and then we have to pay those fees and fines to 950 different organizations, local and municipal governments around the state of Illinois.
So now your office is the clerk over all of Cook County Circuit
That's
Courts.
correct.
Is that correct?
All of Cook County.
Okay. Can we take a
Yes,
call?
absolutely.
We're going to take a call, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk to the clerk again. Listen, you're watching the West Garfield Park Youth Council in collaboration with the West Side Community Stakeholders here on CAN TV. The phone lines are now open. The number here is 312-738-1060. We have the Honorable Clerk Dorothy Brown here with us of the Circuit Courts, of the Cook County Circuit Courts. Caller, you on the air, your comment or question?
Yes, great show as always every week. Ms. Brown, kudos to you. You're great also in office. But the thing is that I say every week, if everybody had a job, it'd be a lot less crime. And you know what gets me though? That you go downtown, all that construction going over, all over downtown, not one Hispanic, not one black-owned construction company. Now, we're the ones they're putting in prison, and yet they hold us back of trying to get some of that money from downtown. Why? Why can't we get together, the black and Hispanics and anybody else, and do something about it? Get us all jobs, and we won't be fighting anybody.
Now, I'm trying to hear you, and I'm trying to make sure that the clerk can respond to your question. So if I respond back to you, it's because I might not be following you completely. Did I hear your question that you want to direct to the clerk?
Yeah, what is your question, sir?
My question is this. If we could get jobs, we'll lose all this people shooting each other.
Okay, I got you. So you're talking about the importance of having jobs over guns. Is that fair? Clerk.
And it's absolutely
Do you believe
important.
that? Do you believe that?
Absolutely. And
I
my
think that's
thing
what he was
is
saying.
education.
Right.
We have to first properly educate our
Right.
children. Yes, our children are going to school here in Chicago. They're even graduating in a lot of the cases. But I think our children are being undereducated.
Undereducated.
You're right. You
Or
should not have to.
miseducated, huh?
Yeah, like yeah.
Yeah.
Our children you should not have to try to get into a magnet school in order to get a good education. You should not have to get into an international baccalaureate program. All of our schools should be like magnet programs. And so I just think that we need to better educate our children so that they can be more competitive and get jobs.
Okay. Now, that's what we wanted to talk. So basically, we agree. Jobs over guns. All right?
Absolutely. And then therefore they'll be able to get jobs.
Absolutely. More education, less stress. Caller, you on the air with the clerk. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
There seemed to be a problem with the phone. Call us back. We'll get back with you. Forgive us there. Call us back. We'll get back with you with that phone call. Listen, we also want to encourage some of you young people about some opportunities being provided for young folks between the ages of 14 to 24, clerk. There's job training, paid subsidy job trainings for young people up to 20 to 30 hours a week at $10.50 an hour.
Okay.
If they get in touch with Fathers Who Care, we will refer them to some programs like the Yes Chicago Initiative, where young folks can go into some training programs with the possibility of being placed in some possibly permanent program, but being trained and paid through programs like that, and also through programs like the Chicago Area Project, who's doing some of the programs to empower young folks to keep them off the street. So we do agree that if we give these young folks jobs and we give these young folks training, then we can keep these young folks off the street. But I'm telling you, most importantly, parents, please parent your children. It is important that you step up to the plate, quit being the friends of your children, and be the parents of your children. Go back to the old days. Spank them. Caller, you on the air. Your comment or question?
Hello, this is Quan.
Hey, Quan, what's going on?
I wanted to ask a question.
Go ahead.
What motivates you to be the clerk of the court, the circuit court?
What motivated you to want to be the clerk of the circuit court?
And what motivated me and what motivates me. I think he was asking what motivates me. What motivates me is people like you, Quan, serving
I
you,
love it.
being an example to you, being a role model for you, and making sure that we have a court system that is a model for the country.
Right.
That my staff treat everyone with courtesy and respect, and so that motivates me every day. I just simply want to serve.
Absolutely.
When I saw this
Absolutely.
particular position back in when I ran in the year 2000, it was because I felt that I had the qualification.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell young people, get your education, because I'm an attorney, a CPA, and an MBA, and I knew
I was
that
telling them about
all
that
of that
today.
together,
Yeah.
that kind of education would be very good
Yeah.
for running this court system. So I didn't go into it, without thinking about the fact that I would be qualified to run the office, and so therefore I could do a good job.
So there you have it. And I was telling some of the young folks that we was talking today, and I was kind of giving them a little update on who you are and what you do. And I was telling them, read a bio. Do your homework. Listen, read up on her and see what she about. And then they was reading on, she's this and she's that. She do this and she do. I said, yeah, that's how you find out. And so when you got a question, ask the question. Call her on there with the clerk. What's your comment or question, please?
Hello, I have a question for Dorothy.
Yes.
For Clerk Brown.
What sacrifices did you have to make to get to where you are now?
What sacrifices?
A lot of sacrifices.
Good question.
A lot of sacrifices. I told you earlier that I'm a wife and a mother, and I'm going to tell you, I was already I had my bachelor's degree, and I was a CPA before my daughter was born. But after my daughter was born, I went to night school to get my master's. And when she was 7th grade, I started law school. So what that meant that I had to work all day long, go to school at night, and then also be there for my husband and my daughter, but yet not able to be there all the time. So that was a huge sacrifice. And sacrificing the time with them, and then working long hours to learn what I do, to get a good grasp on things. That's a huge sacrifice, believe me. Sacrificing my own health, if you will, because of the long hours, the time that I spend making sure that I'm available to the community. So that's very pulling on your health. So it's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. But of course, you have to take care of your family, and you have to make sure that you're taking care of your health. So I have to do what I can to do all of that.
You got the energy. I mean, every time I look up, I follow you
on Facebook.
Of course, I do. And every time I look up, you're doing something to empower the people. And I want to say to you, Clerk, that we're praying for you. We're really praying for you, that you will continue to keep the strength and that you will stay the course.
Thank you.
In spite of all of those dots and them haters and tricksters. Stay the course. Keep doing the work that God has called you to do.
Yes.
Because if God didn't call you, He can't ordain you. And when He gives you the vision, He's definitely going to give you the provision. And He's doing just that.
Praise God.
So just keep doing what you're doing. And caller, we want you all to know we appreciate all of your calls. Come on in, call on in and talk to the clerk. So clerk, let's get back to the questions, okay? The phone lines are still open, by the way. So clerk, we want to talk about as we was talking about bridging the gap. And you alluded to it just a minute ago when you was talking to Quan and some of the other young folks, which we encourage young folks to talk to you. To the clerks and to those elected officials, because you all are human. They just haven't had a chance to talk to you. So our job is to expose them to you. So clerk, what can we do to bridge the intergenerational gap between young people and adults like yourself? And with that being said, also we want to go back and highlight the expungement summit on June the 10th, right?
Absolutely. June 10th, Unity Junior High School in Cicero, Illinois, 2115 South 54th Avenue. Doors are opening at 8:30 a.m. and closing at 6 p.m.
Now tell us,
if you get in there before 6, we got you. We're going to take care of you.
Now tell us about the 2017 e-filing training, and then you can come back and answer this question.
So now, you need to come and get trained in e-filing. It's important because of the fact that starting January 1st, 2018, both pro se's and attorneys, everyone is going to be mandatory for you to electronically file. You're not going to be able to bring me any paper. You have to electronically file your cases. So we have these
cases will be
trainings.
electronic.
All cases will be electronic. So we have all these classes available. You can go on my website and actually see up close and personal the cases that are available. You can get the information on expungement, some on my website as well. So if you think you're going to have to file a court case, whenever that occurs with you, especially those of you that are attorneys, please take advantage of some of these classes that we have available. Of course, we have webinar on our website as well.
So who's these trainings for the e-filing for?
It's for anybody.
Okay.
Attorneys
So somebody was part of the
and person representing themselves.
So pro se cases.
And if somebody sues you,
Right. So if someone
then
was
you got
doing
the
a case pro
electronic
se,
file. Yes.
they have to file an electronic case.
Dave, that's right.
Okay.
If someone sues you, if someone's trying to evict you, you're going to have to file electronically.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to come and file paper with me.
And so are those? Are those computers there to do it there?
Well, I am required to have computers available for you to be able to come on site to do it there.
Okay.
But you can also do it from your home.
Okay, all right. So let's ask this other question while we're still talking, because I wanted to really share some of the new and innovative things that's going on in the office. And I do recall an app.
Yes.
It was an app that was going on that you was telling me about.
Yes.
You got it. Okay.
I got it.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Because I remember you was talking about that, about the clerk's office has gotten its own app.
We have our own
So talk to us
app.
about that.
We have our own app. And so you can download our app, and you can just go to Court Clerk Connect or Cook County Clerk of the Court. Download the app, and you can see your court case on our app. You can see the different locations. You can see the filing fees. There are all kind of benefits for downloading the app. You don't have to worry about having a personal computer or laptop or anything like that. You can get the same thing on your mobile app, and it's free.
You know what I'm looking at? I'm thinking everything is going green.
Everything's going green. There you go.
All right. No, it is. Because if you're talking about specifically, if you're talking about, let me pull this down a little bit more.
There you
How about
go.
that? If
Everything,
you're talking
yes.
about e-filing, if you're talking about apps, if you're talking about all cases now have to be electronic, that's going green.
And we have imaging and our documents are images now. You can go on our website and do many, many things. So yes, go green with us. Sign up for electronic notice if you're an attorney. View our digital images on our terminals. You can get online fillable forms and electronically file right now.
You know, folks, most folks really don't quite understand, Clerk, the significance of technology.
Yes.
And how stuff is really changing. I mean, we were talking about branding and things like that. Back in the day, folks used to be able to stamp a logo. That ain't happening no more. People don't stamp no logos no more. Folks now are branding and hashtagging and all of this stuff is moving that fast. So if folks are not in the loop with the electronics that you're talking about, with apps and the electronic, they'll be behind the times and won't be able to enter in the courts.
They won't be, no.
No, you literally just said that.
Right.
That if you're not up to e-filing into the clerks of the circuit court, you won't even be able to present a case.
Right, exactly. And we won't be doing it for you. We'll
You
show
won't be doing it for you.
how to do it. We will guide you on how to do it, but we would not be able to do it for you. You have to do
So
your own
that's
filing.
why you're talking about the classes, the trainings now.
Exactly.
You're giving folks a notice
That's right.
to come to the training, and the training looked like you got training starting April. It started
They've been
April
going
4th.
on. They've been going on a long time.
To the 29th
They'll be
of June.
Well, they'll be going on to the end of the year, for that matter.
Okay, but that's
So
just
this is what's
for
showing
this
right
quarter.
now. Yes.
Okay, so what we're saying is we want you to keep in touch, find out what's going on in the office of the clerk. So, clerk, we got a couple minutes here, and we want you to take these minutes and share with us whatever it is that you would like for us to know. And we also want you all to, if you have young people who would like to get some training, paid, subsidized training, to give us a call, because we have relationships with Chicago Area Project. We got relationship with Yes Chicago. We got relationship with folks coming down the road with One Summer Chicago. We're gonna make sure, clerk, that we keep these young folks engaged and keep a few dollars coming in their pockets, those who want to work and those who want to do what's right. But we do understand that some of us, some of these young folks, we need to kind of get them into some other programs where they can get some clinical intervention, possibly a little medication and what have you. Because some of them crazy.
Well, not just young people. We got a few of us.
Well, I'm talking about myself,
a little
too.
touch too.
Yeah, I'm talking about myself too. You got to be a little touched to be here in the city of Chicago and a little traumatized too. And I agree, I'm one of them.
We have
All
to
right.
work with people.
Yeah, and we do.
And we have to work with our young people. And you were talking earlier, how can you bridge the gap?
Right.
You know, open up your hearts, open up your mind to helping young people. Give them a chance. Realize that they do know some things.
Right.
Sometimes we just block young people out and we don't include them. Be inclusive of young
Right.
people. I really like what you're doing here with this youth council.
Right.
Reverend, it's just phenomenal. I met a lot of your young people earlier, and they're just great. So
And the
kudos
same ones
to
you've been
you.
meeting before.
Kudos
Because we're
to
still
you.
doing it. Well, you know, somebody got to do it. You know, I laugh and I joke and I have fun, but the bottom line is somebody got to stand in the gap to bless these babies and be a blessing for them, all
Absolutely.
right? So,
Absolutely.
I joke and I have fun, but listen, I'm going to be the one that do what I have to do because he called me to do it, so I ain't going to worry about it. I'm going to just do it. Again, we want to talk about the summit on June the 10th, 2017 at Unity Junior High School. So we want you all to know, and this clerk is going to put the flyer back up again, so because we're really committed to making sure that this is a successful event, and so we want you involved. That's on Saturday, June the 10th, 2017, Unity Junior High School, 2115 South 54th Street, Cicero, Illinois. Anything else on that, clerk?
Well, you can get your rap sheet from the police department, get your certified disposition from me. We're going to have attorneys there to help you complete it. We're going to have judges there.
Judges.
I'm going to even have the Illinois Prison Review Board there just in case your case does not qualify for expungement or sealing through the court.
So there you have it. Listen, we got to get ready to go on this side of town, but listen, tune in next week for the West Garfield Park Youth Council. They'll be continuing to talk about things to empower young folks. We want to thank our clerk for coming
Thank
through,
you.
for sharing and blessing us with that time. And we want to tell you, those who are watching this evening, listen, if it is to be, it must begin with me. So help somebody, be a blessing to somebody. And last but not least, yes, guess what? I love you. I forgive you and I support you. Now pass that on. Thank you so much, clerk. We
Thank
appreciate you so very much. Good night. God bless and keep the faith until you see you on the other side. Good night.